So Jan and Kayla have just done a video collaboration where they each read each other's worst books to see if that they will like them, because they do have very differing tastes sometimes. I will link both those videos down below, they are incredible. But I was honoured when Jan reached out and said, Gavin, you're up next, bitch. And I was like, more fool you. There's only one of us in this equation who has questionable taste. I mean, anyone who likes a dowry of blood, I have to side eye, because some people just like shit, don't they? No judgment. So in this video, I will be reading some of Jan's worst books to see if I like them, and Jan is going to be reading some of my worst books to see if she likes them. So I have sent a list to Jan. You're going to have to check out Jan's video to find out what it is that I sent her and what she ended up picking from that list. And we are about to find out now what I'm going to be reading for this video. So Jan has sent me an email, which I haven't properly looked at yet. I have no idea what's on this list. So we're going to read this together. We're going to find out together. Dear Gavin Hetherington. Oh my god, she's using my Christian name. What have I done? Hope this email finds you amongst the depths of your inbox full of whatever messages super popular celebrities receive. Fuck off. This is your lowly acquaintance, Jan Agaton. I found your YouTube channel, Gavin Reads It All. Thank you for the clarification. I do have another channel, which is top secret. Let's just say the books that I'm reading on that channel. Wanted to potentially discuss a collaboration with you if you're also kindly able to find a morsel of time to spare in your very busy schedule, you know, in between the red carpet and dealing with the paparazzi. I mean, the paps have been out in full force recently. Attached is my lazy list that you could totally ignore if you prefer just perusing Goodreads instead. An extremely confidential document to aid you in this endeavour and make the process as smooth as possible. Like, I needed to read this email out because I just knew it would be gold, and that's exactly what it is. Jan, I'm so sorry if you wanted to keep this secret. Please feel free to reach out with any questions or concerns. I am a little bit concerned. Literally. As soon as Jan rang me and said you're going to die in 7 days, I was like, okay, make it 7 minutes, but also, what do you want? And it turned out to be this video, so I'm still a little bit dubious. If you're now interested, also feel free to let me know, and I will refrain from contacting you ever again. Okay, Jan, I'm out. Let's go to the Javin Project document, which honestly just sounds like the Blair Witch Project, which is fitting. Honestly, it's fitting. Okay, there is a lot here. There is a lot here. I think I only sent Jan a list of like 8 or 9 books. What's here? Like fucking 50? And then 32. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jan, make it 7 seconds. You know what? Let's go through this list. Let's see what I've read or haven't read. Okay, I own this. I'm going to bold the things that I own. And then, like, yeah, let's do the ones that I own. And then I'll go through ones that I've already read so we can mark them off. Oh, the Near Witch I think I own. Cabin at the End of the World I own. Yeah, Tender as the Flesh. I did used to own My Sister the Serial Killer, but I haven't got it anymore. I mean, even if I don't own them, I will just get them out of my library, so that's absolutely fine. Carrie Sower's back I own. Oh my god, I barely own any of these. Am I actually a booktuber? Delta Green Doesn't Care. Do I have that one? I don't think I do. Ooh, Book of Night, Gallant. Yep, I have those. Okay, so I barely have any of these. DNF'd. Oh, and even like Reasons Why. I love this. Any of these I own? Oh, Dawn of the Moon Goddess. I own that. Under the Whispering Doe. God Killer. I own that. Right, so I barely own fucking anything here. Okay, now what have I already read? Probably it's going to be the same thing. It'll be not a lot. I've read 9 Lives, hated it. Read The Night Circus, it was okay. Yeah, read Nothing But Black and Teeth recently, did not like. Oh wait, what didn't I say Crossroads? Yeah, I literally just read that. I actually like that one. Okay, so there's a book right there that I gave 4.5 stars. I have Ariadne. I can bold that too. I have Shanghai Immortal too. I know a lot of people don't like that one. So I kind of want to pick 4 books, I think. Tender as the Flesh, because I really do want to read that one. And I own it, so I might as well. There is Fourth Wing, but I might wait for Fourth Wing for a different video. Cabin at the End of the World. I really want to read that one. Carrie Soda was back. Okay, those are the 3 books that I own that I'm kind of interested in. Like, I feel like maybe I should go for the 2 books as well that Jan thinks I'm going to like, just to prove her wrong. So for the children, and then, what was the other one again? Invisible Girl. Oh, I also have A Deadly Education. Why did I miss that? Also, the fact that A Deadly Education is #1 on this list. Okay, that intrigues me. So I'm going to take Carrie Soto off for now. So I picked 3 books that Jan thinks I'm going to like. I picked 1 book that is on the general list that I am interested in reading. Like I say, I'd let my patrons vote, but also I don't want Jan to say this. Actually, yes, I'm just going to do a poll. I want to put some things on that I think, oh, what do you guys want to see me read? Like, what out of these books interests you the most seeing me read? So that's what I'm going to do. I won't finalize my TBR just yet, but it will be coming. Oh my god, trying to acquire the books for this vlog has been absolute janarchy. So I have finalised my TBR. And there were two that my library didn't have it, but a library just a little bit further out, but in the same system has it. So I went all the way there to pick up two of these books. And so while I was there, I picked up Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell and Stuff for the Children by Craig DeLouie. My local library that I can actually walk to didn't have them. So they have been acquired. It was a nice little library trip. And both of these were on Jan's list of the books that she thinks I'm gonna like, as well as Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Bazterrica. This one I've had on my TBR for a long time, so I'm very glad to finally get around to it. So these three we will see if Jan is right, and I do end up liking these. And then as mentioned in the introduction, I do want to read The Cabinet at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay, because I've also had this on my TBR for years. And I would like to watch the film too. I might try and watch that at some point the next couple of weeks. Which left a spot open. I did get my patrons to vote for which books out of a whole bunch of them that they would like to see me read. And it was so close between the top three. But I've decided to only do two from that poll because, you know, 6 books I think is enough. So the runaway favourite was Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I'm not surprised this got picked. I believe it is very popular. I have no idea if I'm gonna like it, and oh my god, the margins are huge. And then it was so close between A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik and Booklovers by Emily Henry. This one got 86 votes, this one got 88 votes, so I'm gonna be reading Booklovers by Emily Henry in this video. I did also check my library to see if they had this one in, but it said it was due back the 29th of October 2023, and I'm not going through that again. If you know, you know. So I did pick this one up pretty cheap, and hopefully I like it because I don't want to have wasted money on it. And one day I will get to A Deadly Education, but commiserations, you will not be getting read in this video. Bye bye. So this is the finalised TBR for this video. Invisible Girl, Stuff for the Children, Tender is the Flesh, The Cabinet at the End of the World, Magnolia Parks, and Booklovers. And if you end up enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. You know, I haven't read a single contemporary romance so far this year, and I have a movie night with my patrons for Irish Wish with Lindsay Lohan on Netflix coming up today, and I thought actually it would be the perfect way to start this vlog would be with Booklovers by Emily Henry. And I totally forgot this. I actually have read an Emily Henry book before, and I gave it 3 stars from what I recall. I think it was Beach Read. I read it in a Mamma Mia vlog, so I was too busy singing my heart out to actually take in what Beach Read was about. I'm already 109 pages in on this one. I had to stop. I was reading it last night. Is it me? Do I just not like love? Is that what it is? This vlog will be spoiler free, but this is a romance so you can kind of understand where it's gonna go. So I'll probably say like some obvious things, but we do follow Nora. She is a literary agent and she meets up with an editor called Charlie at the very start of this book with one of her clients' manuscripts. And he doesn't like the manuscript. He loves the author, but he hates the manuscript. He says it's unreadable. And that begins our enemies to lovers, right? I don't know what it is with enemies to lovers, but I have been having a rough time with it recently. I read A Study in Drowning quite recently, did not like that book, and I thought the enemies to lovers was garbage, and I'm not feeling it so far in this because it isn't enemies to lovers really. Nora doesn't like Charlie because he didn't like the book that she presented him. So essentially he was doing his job and she becomes like really like quite petty and immature, but yet she's described as this like really cutthroat, ice-hearted queen kind of character. I'm really not saying that at all, but I don't say that. I don't understand why she is considered a shark, you know? So we skip 2 years. That's like the only interaction we ever see between Charlie and Nora. And then Nora's sister Libby wants to have a 3-week vacation. So Nora and Libby end up going to this really cute little city called Sunshine Falls, which just so happens to be where Charlie is right now. I'm not loving it so far, but always surprised. I'm wondering if I do like romances when I can see them in movies. Like, I'm a lot more forgiving when I can watch a cheesy romance movie, but when it's a novel, I just haven't found a one that I love yet. The dialogue in this is so cringy. It is first person, which I think probably makes it worse. So when she meets up with Charlie at the start, she says, also he's scowling or pouting. His mouth is pouting. His forehead is scowling. Powling. I mean, I know that's just like one sentence, but there are so many instances of like such cringy writing. Like, what the fuck was that? Powling? She's trying so hard to make her characters like a little bit quirky, and yet she is talking about, I guess this is where the whole book lovers thing fits into it. She's bringing in like so many different caricatures and tropes and things like that and trying to make it part of the narrative. In a way, it's like kind of ironic but in a way, it also makes me hate the book even more. Because I just hate, for instance, when Nora says, it's my literary stock character. I'm the cold-blooded, overly ambitious city slagger who exists as a foil to the good woman. How? Like, there hasn't been a single moment in this book so far that shows us that. Not a single moment. In fact, all we've gotten so far is how much she will ride or die for her clients. Like, that makes a great person, right? What is it about her that makes her a cold-blooded shark? Nothing. There's genuinely nothing. And when it comes to romances, you really do have to fall in love with the characters because they're the driving force of the story. Without the characters, you wouldn't have the romance, which is what this is all about. Charlie is fine, but he's kind of boring. Again, like, he's trying to be all quirky and stuff in emails that they're sending back and forth to one another, but it's just, And then he suggests pool. Like, when they get together, he suggests pool, and then whenever they win a game, they can ask, like, questions and stuff. Like, oh my god. Like, how unoriginal. Like, there's nothing original about it. One of the things I also really don't like about the romances I read is just, like, how predictable and formulaic they are. And again, I've only just scratched the 100-page mark, really. We're already oversharing so much. Like, it gets so intense so quickly, and I know they're, like, having drinks and stuff, but it just gets a little bit too much. What would I say to someone who I'm, like, a little bit romantically interested in? Because even though she's trying to say, oh, he's the awful person and stuff like that, haha, she has, like, insta-lust. She notices how good-looking he is, and she brings it up every now and then. So, like, she is romantically interested, even though she's trying to be all, oh, this is like enemies to lovers. It's really not. I find sharing emotional stories with each other a lot more intimate than actual intimacy sometimes. I mean, maybe that's a me thing, but it just seems like it's going way too quick. And let me tell you, I had to stop reading at this point. I'm still going to continue reading. I want to finish this before my movie night. But right before something happens, I'm like, you don't know her that well. You know when the main love interest thinks that they know the main character, like, straight away? So he says very seriously to Nora when she says that she will, like, stay there forever and stuff. He's like,
Nora, you and I both know you don't want that epilogue. Someone like you, in shoes like that, could never be happy here.
Can you understand, like, why it's going a little bit too fast? Slow it down a little bit, slow it down. And then they kiss. I mean, yes, they're a little bit drunk, but their mouths slip together, and then they push away, and they're like, oh, I can't get involved, I don't need an explanation, blah, 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 blah. And then, right, this is the unforgivable part. And I'm saying this as a straight man. Thanks to the light bulb over the door, his hard-on might as well be in a display case at a particularly lascivious museum. Okay, so they brushed their lips together for a second. A second. And he has an erection. What, you got Viagra on her lips? It was the briefest of kisses. Why is he pitching a tent in his pants? How old is he supposed to be? One kiss does not an erection make. Why is it so obvious that he's like, how did we get to that point? It's only about 100 pages in. They've brushed lips. They didn't fully make out or anything like that. Maybe if it lasted a bit longer, sure. Are you telling me all it takes is one touch to be engorged? Jesus Christ. The amount of romances I've read where the men get hard in a second. A second! It's a jandemic. I'm like, do you not know straight men at all? We're a minority here. We do not need this stereotype. I also need to add a disclaimer that I'm kind of joking here. Like, I'm not straight, and straight men are not a minority. So, I mean, so far, I am interested in the relationship between the sisters, Nora and Libby. I think that's probably the best part of this book. And I'm saying that lightly. But again, it's a lot of oversharing, a lot of giving us information that is kind of useless to me. Maybe I'm the ice queen. Maybe I'm the bitch. So Nora needs to take a leaf out of my book. But I never find just telling me someone's backstory, like, up front, a good narrative choice. Make me care about the character first. Don't try and emotionally manipulate me into caring about them by telling me they've had a hard life. And I'm talking about that in fiction, okay? Like, I'm not that much of a bitch in real life. But as a narrative choice, make me care first. Look, I've got all day to read this, and read this I will. Jan might have questionable taste, but we might be agreeing on this. I am so sorry to those who are affected by my decision, but I've decided to DNF. This is my first DNF of 2024. Jan, I hope you're happy. But to be fair, Jan did give us 3 stars. So I am DNFing it. I mean, I made it to page 236. So I feel like I've read enough of it to be able to give a star rating, and I would give it a 1 star. I feel like if you've read the majority of the book and you DNF it, you should be allowed to rate it. But that's just my opinion. You can absolutely disagree with that. I just couldn't, I just find them so boring and so basic. Nora and Charlie. Oh my gosh, they were getting a little bit steamy again, which I honestly don't mind. Like, if they just want to get down and dirty and do it, do it. But it's all of the mushy stuff and too quick to care this much about them for my liking. There is nothing exciting about two boring people getting to know one another. Don't even get me started on Nora. She bores the life out of me. And I see Emily Henry trying to inject personality into her, but gin at 3 p.m, chugging beers, martinis before oversharing, and it genuinely seems like Emily Henry is trying to inject her main character by making her drink a lot of alcohol every single time she feels a little bit angsty. Couldn't be me. I was saving this bottle of Guinness for my Irish Wish movie night in 30 minutes. It's actually pretty good. I'm starting to think I don't like any of the characters, which means I should stop now. I have another, 150 pages to go before this is finished. I don't think I want to do that to myself. The humour is so childish and immature. There's like a restaurant place that's called Papa Squat, or like a bar. And there is like this whole little storyline of people trying to change these like almost pornographic names of places to other things, and then porn and erotica is brought up every now and then to be laughed at. I'm like, are you trying to be funny? Well, you're not, because you're basic. I just can't do it to myself. Oh my god, there's an epilogue? You know what, I'm just gonna skip straight to the end. Oh my god. Ugh. Yeah, I'm glad I DNF'd. Fuck that. Oh my god, a guy with an actual Irish accent has just come on and... Oh.
I'm Corey, the brother. Hey. Come on, everyone's inside.
I don't mean to sound uncouth, but he's gonna make me come. Well guys, I'm feeling a little bit anti-social today. And I think it's mainly because I did like 5 days in a row of live shows, and then the last 2 days I've been filming and editing, and I have a video going out later today, which is awesome. I feel happier for doing that because I feel so productive. But yeah, I'm just like, don't want to say anyone. I don't want to say anyone. So today is going to be the chillest day of the week, I think, before it's absolute Jandemonium up in this bitch. Look at that, 2 Jan puns in a row. So I'm actually planning on reading Tender as the Flesh next, and I'm gonna treat myself today a little bit. And by treat myself, what I mean is, this is kind of short. It's only around about 200 pages. So I have my video going live at like 5-6 p.m. tonight, I don't know. But I kind of want to get this read today, hopefully in a few hours, so that later on today, I can play a game. And I haven't played a video game in such a long time, unless it's Power Wash Simulator. But like a proper video game, I haven't like really sat down and played one. So there is a video game that's just come out today called Alone in the Dark, and I really want to play it. So I do have it downloaded, ready to go, but I'm not allowing myself to play it until I've finished this. So it will be my reward for getting another book done for this vlog. And just that kind of mindset is like really helpful today, because even though I am excited to read this is one of the books that Jan said she thinks I'm gonna like, so I do really want to read this, but I'm kind of looking forward to actually just sitting down playing a video game, which is something that I don't often do because I just feel a little bit guilty for sitting there feeling like I'm not doing anything when I could be doing something else, whether that's reading, filming, editing, going live, you know, there's so many things that I could be doing instead. But I'm gonna let myself tonight without feeling guilty. We'll bloody see if that actually happens. I might also, while I'm here, film the introduction to my Dragon Ball vlog. It is the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball this year, and the mangaka recently passed away, so I thought I would bump my reading vlog for it up a few months, and that's what I'm going to do alongside this vlog, so I might as well film the intro to that today while I'm feeling pretty good. I've just been in the shower, moisturized, shaved my jangina, you know, all the things that I had to do, I've done. I feel clean, I feel ready, and I might as well. The last couple of days, I've looked like shit. While I feel beautiful, let's film another intro. I am appalled and revolted by this book. Oh, but it was great. This book did start off at what was potentially a 5 stars, but then it lowered itself nicely into a 4-star instead. And I believe Jan gave this a 2-star. And this was one of the books that Jan said, oh, this is one that Gavin's probably gonna like. And she's right. She's absolutely right. I did really like this. This one is a horror dystopia. Pretty much it is in a world where there is a virus. That means that humans can't eat animal meat, and we kind of turn to eating human meat instead. And honestly, being a cannibal, like cannibals themselves, some of my worst nightmares, and to live in a society where eating human meat, or as they call in the adverts, like special meat, makes me feel physically sick. And there are quite a few times in this book where I felt close to vomiting. It was disgusting. You do get a good glimpse into the production of it, because the main character, Marcos, is somebody who like slaughters humans, and he's part of that whole system. So you do get a really good look into the production of everything that happens and like how humans are treated and the different things that happen with them, like what happens to their skin and their sperm and stuff like that. It's just like, God, it was so vile. But I did start to get a little bit bored. I'm not gonna lie, I started to feel a bit bored by the halfway point. There were still moments and scenes that were absolutely disgusting. There was a scene with some puppies, which honestly broke my heart. So I would totally recommend not reading this if you're sensitive to that kind of thing. Or honestly, I was ready to DNF right there. I was like 2 DNFs in a row. But I did persevere. And again, it's like not terrible, and it is showing like a really awful side to human nature and human beings. The ending is pretty divisive in my mind. I've got one side of me saying, oh, that was good ending. The other side of me saying, what the fuck? And so I don't know, like maybe not 3.5, still 4. It's still a 4-star. I think I will remember this for a very long time. It is gonna stick with me for sure. But I do really wish that we moved a little bit beyond. So I do think we had like this really big premise, this really promising horrific thing, which honestly it does deliver on some of those things, but I don't know, I just felt like we could have done a lot more with the story. It's like I wasn't a big fan of the plot, but I was a fan of how the world was like kind of shaped, because there were also questions into what are the government telling us, how are they controlling humans, what would we do if we ever found ourselves in this situation. There were so many really good questions to ask ourselves, and the guilt and the parallels between people and animals, like honestly all of that was very well done, very well explored. But I really do wish that we had a little bit more of a meatier story, shall I say. So I am a little bit disappointed that this wasn't a 5-star. It is so easy to read this all in one sitting too, so that was a really nice reading experience as I was hurling. But very good, I guess Jan knows me better than I know myself. So my video has gone live. Ash and Tobu played with them quite a lot today. Hopefully they don't want no more playtimes before I settle down myself. Had a little something to eat. Made lots of graphics for my Dragon Ball video that should be coming. Did the intro for that video. Scheduled a live show tomorrow with my patrons. I woke up looking this beautiful. You know, there's just so many things that I've done very productively today. So I deserve what's about to happen. Playing on the PlayStation. And now I should finally be able to play my game Alone in the Dark. Let's go. Oh, you want to play the game with me? Okay. Ooh. I've come to realise that I think when I vlog, I kind of treat it a little bit like therapy. So I'm so sorry if I overshare sometimes. I know I'm doing too much right now, and I love the fact that 2024 Gav can recognise that. Because 2023 Gav and before would have just persevered, would have just went through it. And I'm like, oh my god, am I just like lazy? Am I too old now? Obviously, I know I'm not. But like, I was younger then, so I guess I did have a little bit more energy. But you know what? It's the self-imposed deadlines on myself. Like, I still have well over a week to finish this vlog. So it's actually been so nice to have a vlog where I don't really feel like I have to rush. So like, this is all fine and well. This is all good. This is all like chill. Doing this vlog is almost like taking a antidepressant. But I am doing something at the start of April. I'm going to visit a friend, which I'm so excited for. So I'm just kind of like trying to make sure that I'm not pushing myself too much before then, while still hopefully getting enough out there also. So yeah, the Dragon Ball vlog, I might push into April because that's 16 volumes and my deadline is March 27th. That's in 6 days. To get all 16 volumes read, and to film the entire vlog, edit the entire vlog and get it out? I don't think so, bitch. And I also wanted to get another video out soon as well, because the 1111th chapter of One Piece is coming out this week, and I'm so excited. So I want to do a kind of review of like One Piece that I've read since catching up last August, because I haven't done like any One Piece videos since November, and I was getting a lot of criticism last year for the amount of One Piece videos I was putting out, so I haven't even put out a single video in the last like 4 months to do with One Piece. So look, I'm allowed this one, okay? So I do want to do a review of that, but I also want to read Dragon Ball, but I don't want to push myself too much. So I'm going to calm my tits a little bit with Dragon Ball. But Bella from Throne of Pages, I'm part of her Patreon and she's just uploaded a video, I think early access, so it's probably like out now, I'll link it down below, of, you know, the series that she's in the middle of, in the series that she's finished. And I haven't done that myself since 2021, so it would be cool to go back and look at my spreadsheet and stuff, because I haven't updated that in like 3 years either. So I kind of want to maybe pick an audiobook for a book that I'm reading for this vlog, and maybe work on a spreadsheet and like updating a spreadsheet with all of the series, going through my shelves, adding things on, taking things off, and maybe do a video like what Bella has done of like the series that she's in the middle of. Because I think doing a video like that would be a lot more chill, rather than me just constantly vlog project, vlog project, vlog project. I'm telling myself this, yeah, be easy on yourself. I want to see if I can find an audiobook for any of the books that I have in this. I don't want to listen to the audiobooks of the library books that I checked out. I want to actually read those physically, because I went through the effort of going to a different library to get them. So I'll read those physically, which leaves Magnolia Parks and The Cabin at the End of the World. And I kind of fancy reading Magnolia Parks physically as well. I might want to annotate it. The Cabin at the End of the World, I don't mind listening to the audiobook. So I want to see if it's on Libby. Is it? Oh my god, it's available on Libby and I don't have to wait. Borrow, bitch.
The Cabin at the End of the World, a novel.
So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to work on my little spreadsheet. Oh my god, I'm dreading it as well at the same time, because I'm not good at spreadsheets whatsoever. I know the spreadsheet that I do use that Alli from Hardback Hoarder made, it has a series tracker that I haven't used yet, but I kind of want to simplify that. Because my cats are barely drinking water, I thought I would get them a little cat water fountain. They're both looking at it very quizzically. They don't really know what to make of it. Hopefully they end up using it. Hopefully it's just because it's new. But I just need them to start drinking more water. Ash, I can try it. I can try it. Go on, Ash. Give it a go. Ash, no, the water fountain. The water fountain, go on. Go on. Damn it. I will leave the house at some point in this vlog, especially since it's getting so much nicer outside. But I am only like halfway through my reads for this vlog, so I still have 3 more books to get through, so I can take any of those out on a coffee date. I read all of this yesterday as I was doing my series list, so I am going to try and film a video like right now of me going through all of the series that I'm in the middle of, series that I'm starting, series that I'm DNFing, etc, etc. So hopefully that video is already all done and up, so I'll link it down below. So that's what I'll spend today doing. I'll spend today filming, editing, hopefully getting it finished today. So maybe tomorrow I will treat myself to a little coffee shop date. But yes, I did end up listening to all of this yesterday on audio, and the movie as well is on Prime, so I managed to get it on Prime, and I might watch it at some point. Maybe tonight. I might reward myself tonight if I get all of my work done today. Is that healthy? If I deprive myself of things that I might enjoy, if I don't do productive stuff first, like, is that healthy? But I actually kind of like this one. This one is another moment in time where me and Jan are not seeing eye to eye. Every single book so far I've disagreed with, because even the first book, Book Lovers, even though both of us don't really like it all that much, I still gave it a worse rating than Jan. And then I liked Tender as the Flesh more than Jan, and I've liked this more than Jan. I will say though that this does come with some faults. Like, it's not perfect. I'll probably give it a 3.5 out of 5. It was feeling more like a 4.5 at the very start of this, maybe even flirting with a 5. But it did start to, and I don't know if it's just me, but like I started getting a little bit bored again. So in this one we follow a gay couple who have a child called Wen, and they are in this cabin. It's very remote, they don't have any service and stuff. And then these strangers come and they want to talk to Wen's fathers, and they're saying, oh, we need you to do something, otherwise it's going to be the end of the world. But these strangers are looking a little bit intimidating, even though they're trying to be like, oh, you know, we're friends, like, it's all good. It was very creepy to begin with, and I was like, oh gosh, like, I have no idea where the story is going to go. And parts of it felt a little bit Strangers-esque in a very loose way, which I do love the Strangers, but yeah, it ended up escalating quite fast. And then the same things kept like happening over and over. No spoilers, but for instance, like, they won't say exactly what is happening for such a long time. They keep mentioning, oh, you have to do this, you have to do this, without saying anything. And it was getting like a little bit frustrating, because I was like, okay, can you just get to the point? There was a way of handling this situation that these strangers could have done that I think would have been so much more beneficial to them. But it just perplexed me, honestly. Like, some of the character decisions just perplexed me. And then something happened, I would want to say like 3/4 of the way through, that was quite shocking. And then, yeah, we see it through to the end. And I did think it picked up a bit more then, too. Am I underwhelmed with the ending? Maybe only slightly, but I did think overall it was very good. I love the premise. I just kind of wish we went a little bit further with it. And I don't know if I was expecting something a little bit more horror. I wouldn't exactly class this, I mean, it's still horror, but like, it's, I've never read a Paul Tremblay book before in my life. So I feel like he is someone who is a little bit different. And I was very tense through some of this. I would want to say the first quarter of this, I was very tense. It was very suspenseful. And then it just kind of meandered a little bit, got a little bit repetitive, and then picked back up again. So 3.5, not a new favourite exactly, but I think it's one that I will probably remember for quite some time. I also think it was pretty well written still, and I would check out more from this author. If anyone has any more Paul Tremblay recommendations, let me know. This is my first, and hopefully not my last experience reading his work. So that's 3 books down, 3 to go. Wish me luck filming this video. I'm unsure which one I want to read next, actually. Invisible Girl, Some of the Children, or Magnolia Parks. I do fancy reading one of my library books. Okay, so this little shit keeps taking my seat. I only went to go make myself a coffee. And look who takes my seat. I thought you were sick of that seat, Ash. Literally, I ended up sitting on this one for so long because he kept taking that one. And then he got bored of this seat, so he started lying on that one, so I started using that one. And now I guess I'm back to that chair, am I? Am I back to that chair? Look at me. Yeah, am I back to that chair, am I? Honestly. These boys have me under their thumb. Today has been such a good day so far. And it's only, what, 3:45 p.m? I've just started doing reading sprints with my patrons right now. And I got them to choose which book that I would read next. Because I really fancied reading a library book right now. And it was either the Lisa Jewell book, Invisible Girl, or Some of the Children. And they decided to vote for Invisible Girl. It was 60%. What can I say? I do love a good poll. So I'm going to start reading this today and maybe hopefully finish it today as well, maybe? That would be amazing. My mum just came. She got me some sushi from Tesco and also this massive chocolate bar with like mini eggs inside. I'm just like, I've never tried this before. I really want to. So like, she's just the best. And like, we were chatting and stuff and like, I really want to, like, at some point in the future, get enough money so that I can take her on holiday. She hasn't been on holiday in 20 years. I think 2004 was the last time she went on holiday, and it was to Alicante in Spain. I remember because I was 12 years old. It was her, me, my brother, my sister, my granddad, and we went there for a week. Oh, was it my auntie Barbara as well who went too? It's been so long, but it has been about 20 years since she was last on holiday. So like, honestly, it's my dream to treat her to a holiday. This might be a pipe dream, but there is Icon of the Seas. It's like this massive cruise ship, and it looks incredible. And we were just like watching a YouTube video of like a tour of Icon of the Seas. And I'm like, one day, ma'am, I want to take us on that. I want to save up and I'm going to treat us both to going on that cruise together. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I love and appreciate her so much, and I just want to make sure that she knows that. So it was really nice to see her today. She also dropped off some of my parcels because like all my book box subscription boxes go to her because I still don't really trust the people in my street, because a few times they've taken some of my packages and told me that it never came, so I don't trust anyone. So my Illumicrate came, Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan, but this is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, so I'm glad this came. I also got the proof copy of Magicalia by Jennifer Bell. She is a middle grade author who I absolutely love and adore. She did the Wonderscape series, the Uncommoners series, and this is coming out in May, so I'm very excited to read it. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I got another book out of the library recently too, but that's for my library challenge, so you're not going to know about it. You're not going to find out what it is. And also my Sci-Fi order came too, because apparently this volume of Spy Family, volume 11, comes out May 9th in the UK, but it's available in America, and for some reason the UK gets things like a month and a half to 2 months after everywhere else. So I just went ahead and ordered it, and it's exactly the same as the other copies. So the fact that Sci-Fi has, you know, all of the stuff that the America gets first and the UK have to wait months for, it changed my life. And also One Piece volume 105 doesn't come out until the end of April in the UK. Same with the One Piece Food Wars spin-off, and that doesn't come out until the end of April, and it's not even the end of March yet. And all three of these are available on Sci-Fi. So I think that website, which is amazing by the way, I'm an affiliate, I do have a link down below, and I have a discount code too, if you want to get 5% off. And you can also get novels and stuff off there as well, not just manga and graphic novels. But yeah, I wasn't going to wait another month and 2 months for these books when they're available. The UK honestly get the short end of the stick sometimes when it comes to manga releases. I did get a couple more Ascendance of a Bookworm volumes. This is part 2, volume 3 and 4. Love the first volume so much, so I am getting them. I will get to reading them. I want to do vlogs for it. And also Blood on the Tracks volume 15. This came out ages ago, I just didn't get around to getting it. And volume 16 and 17 are going to be the final 2 volumes. So that's my little haul for today, though I would mention it. Now I really do need to get to reading, because we chatted for like 40 minutes. As soon as I saw the live show, we're gobshites. Me and my patrons, as soon as we start reading sprints, gobshites. We will not shut up. We just talk and talk and talk. So we spent 40 minutes talking, and now I'm doing more talking. So really, I should be getting to the reading.
Make love last forever, every day and every night.
Can you hear that? It's so nice having that running water for the cat's water fountain, because it sounds so nice in the background. I don't know if you can hear it though. I don't think the cats are using it at all. I've now had it for 2 days. Nothing. At least not that I've seen. I'll still persevere. Love the sound of it so much. Got Tobu over there. Tobu. Tobu. So I've just finished some Patreon sprints. I only have about 100 pages left of Invisible Girl. And I am liking it so far. I love how me and Jan are just like not saying eye to eye in this vlog whatsoever. But who knows, because I am worried that maybe something like really predictable is going to happen. I'm wondering if maybe I can sniff it out because I am a really good detective. Miss Marple was mentioned in this as well. And someone was like, you don't have to be Miss Marple to figure it out, but Miss Marple is shit. So I was going to just check in after I finished, but I might as well check in now. I'm currently watching Gabby's Screaming Colour sprints. So I'll get the last 100 pages read. So there is a girl called Sapphire, and she's gone missing. We do get little glimpses into her life. She was seeing a therapist, and another POV that we get is from the therapist's wife, and she's called Kate. Another POV is from somebody who lives across the street from Kate called Owen, and he was a teacher, and he gets let go because of some potential sexual misconduct allegations. Somehow, all of these people are connected. And it's been really intriguing so far to see the lives unfold. Like, it hasn't really had too much of an exciting kind of go about. But you know when you're watching, like, someone from across the street and they're having a fight or there's drama and you can hear it, so you kind of hide behind the curtain, you turn off all the lights in the house and you just kind of eavesdrop a little bit. This is what reading this book feels like. It feels like I'm kind of taking a little peek into something I really shouldn't be looking at in a way. So I really do like that vibe. I like that feeling I'm getting from it. The mystery so far is intriguing because, yeah, Sapphire has gone missing and I have no idea what's happened. Owen has been accused of doing something to her, but yeah, I'm just completely clueless in whether or not he has done it. But there is like a different character who I'm keeping an eye on, and I'm like, I smell a rat here. I smell a rat. So if I'm correct about that, I mean, I don't know if it will lower my enjoyment of this story if I do end up figuring it out, because sometimes good mysteries give you the answers in the text and you just have to search for them, and that's great. But yeah, I kind of don't want it to go the predictable route. I do want this to surprise me, and so far it hasn't really surprised me, but it has potential in the last 100 pages to surprise me. So while I am liking the story very, very much, the writing is absolutely fine. I love the fact that only Sapphire's POV is in first person. Kate's POV and like Owen's POVs are in third person, and thank God. Thank God, because if Owen's POV was in first person, I don't know if I could do it, because there's a lot of like misogyny and hate against women in his sections, and it makes me very uncomfortable. Like, so many things have happened with him to do with women that makes me very uncomfortable. So I would not like to be in his head ever. So I'm glad he's in third person. I'm going to try and finish it off tonight now. It is about like 10:30 p.m. my time now, isn't it? Oh, I'm recording on my phone right now, so I can't check the time. In Gabby's Screaming Colour readathon is like reading yellow books.
When the whole damn world is beating you down. What about when you get burned from the tricks you never learned, and now you're dead on the ground?
I need to escape this house. Oh my lord. So I think I'm going to head to a cafe today. It's just needed. Because I have like nothing else going on in my life right now, let's just continue our reads. I finished Invisible Girl like 2 days ago. And I've been trying to sit on my thoughts and feelings, my rating for this book for the past 2 days. Jan did give this a 2-star, but I'm still trying to figure it out what I want to give it. I'm just so Janoid that not really anything pretty much substantial happens in this. I feel like so much of it is a little bit misleading, and I think a lot of information is only given to you in the last 100 or so pages. And my heart kind of sunk when I realised what was going on. And I think you're going to be in two camps with this. You're either going to really like the fact that, would I say it's a twist? You might either be happy that it happens or you might loathe it. And I I kind of loathe it. I like the exploration of like men being creepy for one, and I really do think that we explore that really well. And you know what, the last couple of pages of this was like, oh my god. So it actually did make me want to bump my rating up even more. But I'm talking about like the specific mystery element of this. I didn't really care that much for it by the end. I did feel happy for some characters, like a sort of, oh, I'm kind of proud of you for doing that, and I'm kind of happy that you've kind of come to this conclusion and stuff, but I also would have been happy if everyone just died. I'll admit though, I didn't predict a few things that happened, like for better or worse. I think once you realise that you've kind of been focusing on the wrong thing for the majority of this, I don't know, I'm so conflicted. I feel like I'm saying a whole bunch of nothing, so let me do a minute spoiler thing, okay? I will put on the screen that for the next minute, I'm going to talk about a spoiler and about why I can't really like say very much. So if you don't want to know anything about it, skip ahead. Skip ahead. This is your countdown. This is your warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Nobody died. There wasn't a body. There wasn't even a death. There wasn't even... like, I don't really know how to feel about that, because I feel like maybe in some ways that's kind of clever. The fact that, you know, Sapphire was like kind of hiding the entire time, and I understand her reasons why. Don't get me wrong, like when I'm saying I kind of love the themes that are exposed with creepy men, like there is that guy when she was younger who essayed her when she was only 10 years old, and Sapphire's been like stalking people since then, like she wants her revenge on this guy, and then as soon as she kind of sort of gets it in this like really contrived way where everything seems to be happening at once and everyone's there kind of thing, that's kind of when it kind of lost me a little bit. I love that she managed to like break his fingers and stuff, and that he is in jail, he got his comeuppance, and he is the person who has been molesting women this entire time. But I feel like we got pretty much everything to do with that in like the last 100, maybe 90, 80 pages. So it was like really crammed in. The guy Owen, who was like the main suspect and stuff, who was locked up for like a week, like he was all over the newspapers. They really ruined his life, and they were saying some awful things that may or may not have been true, but either way it was like guilty until proven innocent kind of thing with the media, which is true. Like a lot of media do need to be held accountable for the stories that they sell and how they do that when like things aren't really set in stone just yet. I mean, the girl isn't even dead, so they did all of that, and for what? And I understand why Sapphire didn't go to the police earlier, because one, she was scared for her life because of the guy, the person who essayed her, but also because the newspaper were running stories about Owen saying that he was on incel forums and doing this and the other. I mean, yes, there were things that he did that I do think he should be locked up for, and he did have date rape drugs in his drawer and stuff like that, and it's just like, for the longest time, I'm so conflicted with him, because you give him character progression, but at the end of it, I'm like, do I really care at that point? No. But Sapphire is safe the entire time. Like, the missing person, she isn't even missing. She's staying with the person who is having the affair with the husband of the other main character in this, Kate. It's like a very convoluted string of things, and he has been having an affair the entire time. And I'm proud of Kate at the end for saying, I don't want you back kind of thing, and like walking away from that, because she deserves to live her life without a man doing what he does behind her back. So I was proud of her. That's why I said before I was like proud of character decisions and stuff. I'm like, okay, there wasn't really a mystery. There wasn't a mystery. So that's kind of why I was a little conflicted. So no spoilers now, back to being normal. I will probably end up giving this like 2.5 out of 5, I think, because a lot of this did kind of entertain me, and then kind of lost me a little bit, and then yeah, entertained me again in the last 2 pages. Fine, all good. I think I'm going to give this 2.5 out of 5 stars, which is 0.5 higher than Jan's rating on Goodreads. Jan gave it 2 stars on Goodreads. I don't know if she did give it a point somewhere. So this is the closest that I've come to agreeing with Jan on these books in this video. And even then, I kind of like this probably like slightly more than Jan did. So there's that. One that we're kind of almost saying eye to eye on. So that's 4 down, 2 to go. It is miserable, it is currently raining, but I do think I'm going to have a little nip down to my local cafe, and I think I'll start Magnolia Parks next so I can start reading it, doing some annotations since it's not a library book. I have absolutely no idea what this is about. I see people read it, I see people rave about it, but also hate it, and I want no idea what the plot even is. The back of this has given me absolutely nothing. How many loves do you get in a lifetime? She is a beautiful, self-involved and mildly neurotic London socialite he is Britain's most photographed bad boy who broke her heart. But Magnolia Parks and BJ Valentine are meant to be, aren't they? Oh my god. I don't think this is going to be for me. Jan did DNF this. She said it was cringy. Let's see if I agree.
It seems so easy that night. Should have been strong, yeah, I lied. Nobody gets me like you. I couldn't keep hold of you then. How could I know what you meant? There was nothing to compare to. I know everything changes, cities and faces, but I know how I feel about you. There's a mountain between us, there's one thing I'm sure of. I know how I feel about you. Can we bring yesterday back around? 'Cause I know how I feel about you now. I was dumb, I was wrong, I let you down. But I know how I feel about you now. All that it takes, one more chance. Let our last kiss be our last. Give me tonight and I'll show you. I know everything changes. I don't care where it takes us, 'cause I know how I feel about you. Can we bring yesterday back around? 'Cause I know how I feel about you now. I was dumb, I was wrong, I let you down. But I know how I feel about you now.
What an adventure I have been on. I went to my original local cafe that was closed because it's closed on Mondays. And then I walked all the way down, in the rain, I might add, walked all the way down to the next nearest cafe, which I haven't been to in over a year. But while I was there, I had a text message from my library to tell me that something that I wanted from the library that I had a hold on had come in. And that is A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. I was so happy this came in because I haven't even read 7 Days in June, but this is Tia Williams' brand new book. And as soon as I realised my library did have it, I put in a reserve and it got brought back today. So I did a little trip to my library as well. It was fun. I made it to page 102 in Magnolia Parks. Is this it? Is this it? I'm saying this is it because I'm hearing this as like a very toxic book. And like, yes, okay. This follows Magnolia Parks. She is a British socialite. She's rich. And she's in this like kind of relationship with someone called BJ who has her heart, who owns her heart. But he keeps like breaking it, and then she like breaks his heart in return, and like there's a lot of toxic stuff going on between them. But I'm just like, is that it? Him cheating on her being heartbroken over it and crying about it, but still letting him sleep in her bed, and then just for the cycle to continue? Is that it? Is that really it? Like, again, I'm not taking a moral high ground here. I myself am no angel, surprisingly. So like, I don't mind the fact that they're doing this, and that can be interesting, but is that it? Because Gossip Girl did the whole cheating thing in every single book, and I read all 14 of those books. It's already been said and done. Is this really that toxic romance that everyone's talking about on TikTok? Is this really it? I'm kind of underwhelmed. I was expecting something more like him getting pegged by Magnolia's mother, kind of toxic. Not the fact that he just like keeps sleeping with girls and she keeps witnessing it and rinse and repeat. You know, in some parts of this, there are some nice beautiful lines, and I was worried to begin with. In the first couple of chapters, I was like, you know what, I'm kind of being proven right here. Jessa Hastings couldn't write a shopping list. But I got a little bit more of the ways through, and there were some like really nice lines. Let me see if I can find one. Also this, infidelity aside, you think he's perfect, that we're perfect. No, I never thought that. I genuinely, 53 pages in, I never thought that. Oh, where's that nice line? And BJ is like very hypocritical and possessive. The fact that he beats up Christian because he kisses Magnolia and saying stuff like, it's Parks, she's mine, she'll always be mine. And I'm loving all the Britishisms like fisticuffs. It is coming across as very British. So I do kind of like that. Where the fuck is this line? Obviously you can tell not everything is incredibly written. That it's taken me this long to find one goddamn line that I liked. I was literally on that page already. My thumb was on it. Beach was still a bit pale, his big puffy pillow lips parted in the centre, his chest rising and falling in a rhythm that was the soundtrack of my youth. And I'd never be more grateful to hear it. That soundtrack of my youth, his breathing, nicely played there, nicely played. But something happened there on page 60 that I thought, ooh, that actually makes this like so interesting and so good. And then turned out that didn't even happen on page 61. I was foaming. I was literally foaming. Nothing made me angrier. And then the author tried to pull the whole, oh, I'm going to write beautifully at the end of this paragraph. I'm getting Fairy Skins vibes from this. I'm getting a kind of Gossip Girl meets Skins. That's what I'm feeling. Because the sort of, like the drugs, the sex, the relationship stuff, that's feeling Fairy's Skins for me. But other than that, I'm just not feeling much. I'm just feeling underwhelmed. And every single conversation anybody has just circles back to Magnolia and BJ. Like every single time I'm like, do you not have anything more interesting to talk about? Are your lives that boring that that's all you ever talk about? Come on. I need someone to get pegged now. It's only Wednesday and I already feel like I've been so productive. Monday, I did go out and go to a coffee shop, which was my moment of peace and serenity this week. But I did manage to get like a lot read that day. I filmed yesterday. I filmed a whole video. I edited the entire video. I did Patreon reading sprints on the afternoon to the nighttime. I think I stopped around about like midnight my time-ish, where I got more of Magnolia Parks read. And then today I do have some sprints later with Jan. So that'll be so exciting. I don't know why, but my left eye keeps twitching. It was doing this last night. It twitches randomly. So if you notice my eye twitching, I apologise, I don't know what's wrong. So I've just been dilly-dallying on my computer this morning. My trip to Norway has just been confirmed. My last 2 early bird spots have now gone. So that's 10 spots gone, 10 spots left on my trip. I am so excited that it's actually going to happen now. It is happening in August 2025, so there's so much time to plan and prepare for it. If you want to check out more information, I'll have a link in the description box. I'm just so super happy that's like actually confirmed now. And we're going to Norway. Norway to Norway. Anyway, we need to talk about Magnolia Parks. I got to page 240. You know, this entire year, I didn't DNF a single book. And then I started this vlog and I've DNF'd 2 books. Yes, I'm DNFing Magnolia Parks. And I'm not DNFing it because it's toxic. I'm not DNFing it because it's bad or anything. Like, I do think toxic books can exist. Toxic characters can exist. That's all fine and well. I was kind of hoping that it would be balls to the wall toxic. But I'm actually DNFing this because I'm bored out of my fucking skull. And it's really fucking repetitive. And I was crying last night on Patreon reading sprints when we had to start a sprint because I did not want to read it. The timer would go off and we'd have to start reading. I didn't want to. I didn't want to go back to this. I was just bored out of my skull. I will do a little spoiler section for this so that you can find out why. But like honestly, like the relationship between Magnolia and BJ, I don't give 2 shits about, right? They can hurt each other as much as they want. It's their prerogative. I do find it weird that a lot of the times there is just no rhyme or reason behind it. I'm sure at some point maybe all of this will get explained. Maybe there are reasons for why they're continuously hurting one another in this really toxic cycle, which I guess is the point. It is the point of the story, but again, that's not why I'm DNFing this. But I don't care for either of the characters. I think BJ is a possessive creep. Like, he is an actual cretin. He just continuously like, oh, I love Magnolia Parks so much. She's the most beautiful girl in the world. Now, how can I hurt her? How can I break her heart? How can I cause her more emotional trauma? How can we do that? And that's exactly what this book is. And then Magnolia, I do feel so bad for her. The fact that she has gone through so much with him in the first place, just to like continuously have this cycle keep happening. She would also try to purposefully hurt BJ back. You know what? It's not even that toxic. It's immature. It's immature. Neither of them have grown up. And they're just doing like the most bare bones basic shit to one another. And it got to a point where it happened again. I was getting deja vu. I was like, oh, we're doing that again? Again? A fucking again? Where is the creativity? Okay, so we're going to get into some spoilers now. We're going to get into a little bit spoilery section. So please do skip ahead if you do not want to be spoiled for this book. I will put on the screen spoilers. And then when the spoilers go off the screen, then it's safe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the reason why I really have to DNF this is because of how repetitive it is. So BJ and Magnolia, they do some weird shit together. Like, he sleeps in her bed even though like they don't touch one another, or like they're not like sleeping together or anything. Like, he just sleeps in her bed with her. And there is like a lot of really unhealthy things that happen between them that honestly just makes me so like confused, especially when a lot of this stuff with them is like so unnecessary. Like, they don't have to do that to one another. But the thing that gets me, so pretty early on, Magnolia I think has a change of heart. It's very hard to tell sometimes because Magnolia is very shallow, very surface level. A lot of the conversation and dialogue between them is very shallow and surface level. Every single conversation goes back to Magnolia and BJ, and I'm like, do they not have anything else going on? Is it really just about them 24/7? Like, it was boring. Anyway, BJ is at a club. He is getting a lap dance and stuff, and he's, you know, throwing himself at this girl. And Magnolia, who I think has had a change of heart, she's like, oh, I kind of want to be with BJ now. She walks in, she sees him, and then she's heartbroken, obviously, because she's just seen that. So she's upset, she's sitting down. This guy called Tom England comes, and like, what a stupid fucking name, by the way. Like, this author is Australian, and she's trying to do this whole like British thing in this, and honestly, I feel offended. As a Brit, I feel offended. Tom fucking England. Anyway, Tom England comforts her. They start this like fake dating thing, which honestly, I couldn't give two shits about. It didn't make sense to me, but what have you. Later on, it happens again. So Magnolia, she goes to where BJ is because they know where each other are. Like, they just know where each other are, like, at all times. Like, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is, what time of the week it is. They just know where they are, so they can just go and surprise them whenever they want to. Which, again, I find very concerning and weird. But, yeah, Magnolia goes to this bar thing. That's where BJ is. BJ is all over the bartender. Good ass, squeezable, cocks her leg up around me. I open my eyes, make myself look at the girl I'm about to shag, and then I spot her end of the corridor, eyes glassy, bottom lip quivering. Again! Again! Magnolia Parks has walked in on him groping some girl and about to have sex with some girl in a public place. And yet again, Magnolia walks away and she's distraught and heartbroken about it. Like, this is the second time. The second time that's happened. And again, like, the toxic stuff between them, fine. But that is so uncreative. The fact that you're having the exact same thing happen twice. Like, why can't you do something more creative? Like, why can't Magnolia walk in on BJ getting pegged by Magnolia's mother, for instance? You know, like, we can do other things. We don't have to keep having her walk in on him in a public place, in a bar, when she's just, like, decided, oh, you know what, actually, let's just let bygones be bygones. I'm just gonna get back with BJ. Oh, wait, he's all over some girl. And she's all over him. Again. Again. You nasty. I was just sick and tired at that point. I was like, what is the drama, really? Other than just, like, the repetitive nature of it. And again, I'm pretty sure a lot more comes out. I've heard great things about it. And I'm sure there are more reasonings, because at the moment BJ is saying the only reason he cheated on Magnolia to begin with, like, what, 3 years ago, was because he just wanted to. And, like, that is concerning, especially considering how much he apparently loves her. And I'm sure maybe a reason does come out. Maybe it wasn't just because he wanted to do it. I don't care to know about that reason. I genuinely don't. And then during my reading sprints last night as well, a few people were telling me, oh, at least read the last chapter so you can read the ending, because something happens in the end. I was like, okay, let's do that. Read the last chapter. So, like, throughout the book, it's kind of like a little bit of a mystery who he cheated on Magnolia with. It was her best friend. Okay. I honestly could have predicted that from the very first page. As soon as we realised that this was a mystery, that we didn't know who BJ slept with, my first thought is, okay, who would be the most shocking person for him to sleep with? That's my mind. That's where I go when I read mysteries. It's like, okay, who's the most shocking person to do that? It's most likely them. I thought, okay, it'll be her best friend or her sister. That's the first thing I thought of when I realised that we weren't being told who he slept with. You know what? I think it's this fucking book that's making my eye twitch. Honestly, if you're shocked by that, that's absolutely fine. I was not shocked. Predictable. Just didn't care. I was bored. Wasn't toxic enough. I was expecting something way more toxic. To me, it's just petty and immature drama. Unfortunately, another DNF. And I was going to try and get all the way through. I didn't want a DNF. I wanted to have a fully formed opinion. But the fact that I was dreading going back to this, I'm sorry. And Katie, if you're watching this as well, I promise I'm not targeting you. I'm not targeting your favourites, okay? It's just the way that this one goes. And the fact that Jan also DNF'd this too. Finally, we have something that we concretely 100% agree on. We've both DNF'd this. Whereas everything else, we've kind of been like a little bit out. So I guess mine and Jan's tastes aren't too dissimilar, I guess. Maybe my eye will stop twitching now. I'm not reading it anymore. One book left. So I will most likely start this tonight during sprints with Jan. Okay, children around the world are dying. Okay. Oh, and then 3 days later they return. Shattered mothers and fathers see their sons and daughters happy and whole once more, playing and laughing as before. But only when they feed. They hunger for blood. Ooh. Okay, so it's about children. So I guess huge trigger warnings for that. But apparently they die and come back 3 days later, hungry for blood. So is this like some kind of vampire story? Let's give this a bash. Last one of the vlog. Let's hope it's a good one. Sprints last night with Jan was so much fun. I will link the reading sprints down below if you want to, I don't know, like watch them back, maybe use them as reading sprints in the future. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I watch old reading sprints. And especially actually recently, I've been going back to around about like 2021, 2022, watching reading sprints from that time and reliving a lot of those memories and like how I felt being part of the community in that time. So I do that. So if you do that as well, let me know. But I will have the live show link to the reading sprints I did last night with Jan down below. It was so much fun. I got 202 pages read of stuff for the children, and I'll let you know my thoughts on that in a second. My mum and sister have just been. My sister helped to dye my hair. Yes. Sometimes I do dye my hair, okay? Because I'm a little bit self-conscious about my greys. And I know like the greys aren't really that bad. I'm actually more self-conscious about my beard and the greys coming through on my beard. I hate seeing it sometimes on the camera and editing too. I just hate grey in my beard. So I just get the full works done. So like it's freshly dyed. If you're wondering if I look a little bit different, if the hair's looking a little bit darker, it is just like dark brown. That's like my natural hair colour. So don't judge me, okay? I think I look nice. But back on topic with stuff for the children, I am liking this so far. I do skim a lot of this. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of this that I don't really care that much for. But the plot itself is hooking me. Like I am hooked on the plot. I've already told you what it's about, but I didn't really fully understand the concept. It just says on the back like children die all over the world and then they're brought back like 3 days later. But like it's a mass panic event. Have you ever seen something like, was it The Leftovers or like Flash Forward? There are a couple of like TV shows I used to watch where like in the first episode there is this catastrophic global event that really changes everything, and that's what it felt like. It felt very suspenseful, it felt very scary, and honestly my heart just went out to all of the parents who were like losing their children. Oh my God, I wanted to cry. I was so sad for them. And honestly those poor little kids, oh God, I wouldn't recommend reading this if you are like sensitive to all of that kind of stuff, and if you're a parent. I can imagine how hard it must be to read this as a parent. So all of that was like very like exciting to read. Morbid, horrible, nasty, awful, yes, but the plot was really fast and really quick. And it's called the Herod event. So I do like how at the start of like each chapter it's like hour of Herod event, or 2 hours before Herod event, 1 hour after resurrection, and stuff like that. I like the timing of this. It feels like we're on a clock. It feels like we're on a timer, which I do kind of like. It makes me want to read it even quicker just to get to the next part. And I don't think I'll get into a spoiler, maybe. There might be like the briefest of spoiler sections when I finish this, just to talk about something, because like this isn't perfect. It isn't perfect. There are some things, especially about characters, that I don't fully love. I think some of the reactions from the parents, like especially a few days later, aren't really making a whole lot of sense to me. I think this book is like exploring the lens parents would go to, like save their children kind of thing, which honestly is like a very intriguing premise. It's a very interesting thing to read, and it does remind me a little bit of Crossroads by Laurel Hightower, but it's just the way the characters are depicted. I don't know if I fully believe them as characters, and obviously like it's fiction, of course they're not real, but like I need to believe them in this world. And there are just like so many kind of instances of like contradictions to character that I'm not fully invested in and I'm not fully loving, because I'm seeing through that. But the plot itself is keeping me hooked. I only have about 140-ish pages to go, So that's not too bad. I'll spend today reading that. I can't believe Jan's already fucking finished reading the books for the Gav part of this vlog. I thought I was ahead of Jan, but no, I'm behind. So I do need to read this today and finish it. Jan may have won the battle, but she ain't won the war. That's all I'm saying. Oh, it's so cold. And you know what? I was feeling so nauseous as well reading. Well, I finished it now. Stuff for the children. I was feeling nauseous last night during sprints, actually, when I was reading it with Jan. I'm putting it down for now. I need the warmth. As soon as we start getting into stuff to do with blood, again, like, this is spoiler free, but I will go into a spoiler section. I will let you know when that happens. I'm terrible, absolutely terrible with blood, needles, anything like that. And oh my gosh, like, even just remembering a lot of the stuff that they have to do with like blood and stuff just makes me want to faint. And whenever I do either have a needle or give blood, I do faint. It's happened before. I've just collapsed on the ground. I just don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. So what this book did really well was make me feel that. I really like that. And overall, I think I did really enjoy the story. I do wish that we had focused a little bit more on the event itself, what happened to the children, and what's happening to the children now as they have been like resurrected. I guess I would have loved a little bit more, because it takes a little bit of a different kind of focus for a lot of this book, which I'll get to in the spoiler section. I think it really ended up focusing more on like the parents and being a parent and stuff like that, which is honestly fine. Like, I like the exploration of all of that, but it just wasn't really what I really wanted from this story. I say this as I'm being all squeamish about blood, but I would have loved to have seen a little bit more of like that side of things, more so than, you know, like spending time with your kids after that event happened and playing with them and doing all this, that and the other, which is, again, like absolutely fine, but it's not really what I kind of wanted to read the story for. And I kind of like the ending too. It felt very desolate, very hopeless, and it was a good time. Honestly, throughout it was a pretty good time. So we're gonna get into spoilers now. You know the drill. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The whole thing with the kids is that the parents, after they come back, they sort of die again, but the parents have to give them blood, or like they just have to ingest blood to like reawaken, and they reawaken exactly as they used to be, like before the death event happened. So like they're walking and talking and all of that, and then they collapse again and they're dead once more. So the parents and everyone have to give them more blood, and there's like so much talk about like giving them like pints of blood, like taking a pint of blood from the mum and the dad, and oh, like it honestly, I had to start skimming at that point because I was like, I can't read this. I'm such a baby, but I couldn't do it. But one of the things that I mentioned before that I kind of wanted to point out was like some of the character motivations, or like some of the character decisions, like especially with the parents, sometimes didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And don't get me wrong, I have a niece and 2 nephews. I would die for them. Like, I would literally lay my life down on the ground for them. I would do anything for them. And say like, as soon as the event happened in the book, right, and they're talking about doing like these mass graves for these children, and they're like, oh, don't worry, because we'll let you know where your kid will be and you can always visit them and stuff. But I'm like, I would not put my kid in a mass grave, like, just like that. Like, absolutely not. And the way that these parents were, like, kind of okay with that, and then as soon as they come back, they're all over their kid, and they're, like, doing everything they can for their kid. They're giving them all of their blood, and they're, like, pretty much dying for their kids. And, like, it must be, like, such a nitpicky thing of me. But I'm just like, why would you put them in a mass grave? And it seemed like it wasn't really an issue. And then be the way you are when they come back, and the way that you're kind of, like, clamoring to keep them alive, which again is like, as a parent, I mean, I'm not a parent, but like as a parent, I imagine that people would go through hell and give their lives for their kids. 100%, I get that. But like, sometimes I don't think it was depicted that well in the book, because I felt like some of it kind of contradicted some of their actions. I don't know, like sometimes it didn't make sense. I totally get it as well, that even when they started to realize that they were slowly dying, that their kids weren't going to be the same, like the kids were changing, like they weren't going to be the kids that they were before. They were becoming pretty much monsters, and still the parents, some of them did, some of them didn't, kind of like stopped. They kind of realized like, oh, you know, that's not our kid anymore, we have to let go. And I do like the exploration of when is enough enough, like when do you actually let go so that your child can rest, kind of thing. It is so sad, I totally get it, but I don't know, the way some of the parents were depicted, I didn't love. In their actions and stuff just didn't make a whole lot of sense, even when it was like so glaringly obvious. Like, yeah, all of the kids in the world died and came back, and like, of course, like, you don't want to keep them alive and stuff by giving them blood, but like, a lot of them didn't really like see that as much of a problem, or at least like I don't think it was questioned enough by some of the parents. But I do think on the flip side of that, there were some, like even when they were out and about and there's kids playing in the park and the parents are on the sidelines and you see some of the parents with like these really like weird looks on their faces, almost like they're grimacing and they're like keeping a secret kind of thing because they know that their kids shouldn't really be alive again. So it's like an unspoken thing between them. So things have changed, things are definitely different, and I can't even begin to describe the complexities those parents are like thinking and feeling and stuff like that. I couldn't begin. I think that was my only like nitpicky thing really. I kind of just wanted like maybe less focus on the parents and the parents wanting to play with their kids when they come back, which obviously they would do. But I kind of just didn't really care for it. I kind of wanted the scarier aspect and maybe like a little less of the blood talk. Like that's just personal preference, but oh god, that made me really uncomfortable. So all that said and done, spoilers are over. I think I would still give this book a 4 out of 5. I do think the plot and the premise itself were so intriguing, and I don't think the author fully utilized it in a way that I think was really getting his money's worth out of that plot. Like, there was so much more they could have done, so many different focuses I could have done, but I kind of appreciate what we got, and I liked what we got, and it was definitely effective considering it did make me queasy a lot of the time. So essentially, the 6 books that I've read for this vlog with Jan, I think we've only really fully agreed on one of them. So my Janalysis is that Jan's reading taste is shit. I'm kidding, love you Jan. So to run through the books that I read in this vlog for Jan: Book Lovers by Emily Henry, I DNF'd. Tender as the Flesh by Agustina Bazterrica, I gave a 4. The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay, I gave a 3.5. Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell, I gave a 2.5. Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, I DNF'd. And Some of the Children by Craig DeLouie, I gave 4 stars. So even though I gave Tender as the Flesh and Some of the Children both 4 stars, I wouldn't exactly say that they were like new favourites or anything, but I did really enjoy them for their plot and their story. But I do think both of them still had some issues that I would have loved to have worked through. And definitely not perfect, but I had a really fun time. And obviously DNF in both Book Lovers and Magnolia Parks. Look, I won't say that both of those books ruined my reading in 2024, but they kind of did. And Cabin at the End of the World was good. Invisible Girl was decent. I had my issues again, but it wasn't terrible. Don't forget to check out Jan's version of this vlog, where she reads 4 of the books that I consider some of the worst. So I will leave a link to Jan's video down below. Maybe leave a, like this emoji of the hands doing the heart to let her know that I sent you. For my comments, you can leave anything you want. Middle finger emoji, poop emoji. Do what you want. But that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the books. What did you think of the vlog? Anything that we disagree on? I imagine I'm going to get a lot of hate from Magnolia Parks. I'm so sorry. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons and my One Piece channel members for support my channel. If you'd like to join my Patreon or my One Piece channel membership, then all the links are down in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.